And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Jumping into Crypto, episode 346. Today is Monday, February 19th, and I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
It's
time.
It is time. For today, we will be talking about some of these delisted coins on Binance. I'm sure a lot of people woke up today and saw it, or last few days, excuse me. We'll also be going over the tipping.me tipping extension on Chrome now for Twitter. We'll be going over BitGo and their Lloyd's of London deal, as well as Bitmain and their losses throughout the year. Then we'll head over to Argentina, where they're actually using Bitcoin to settle export deals. Coinbase and their blockchain analytics startup they've acquired. And last but not least, Tim Draper predicting what criminals will use in the next 5 years. But first, did we have a free cryptic coin winner from last week?
Yes. Our winner from last week was Up South Studios. Shout out to you for your comment. Based on our question, which was, would you use the Lightning Network to pay for things such as pizza, which we discussed with Domino's being able to do that, other things. They said they would buy clothes, shoes, anything to keep the Lightning Network going. So shout out to Up South Studios. You'll be receiving those free crypto coins end of this week.
Thank you, Up South Studios. And yes, thank you for that, Antonio. Today is actually Tuesday, February 19th. I did say Monday. That President's Day threw me off.
Yeah.
What's going on, Jizzy Mac, Tonio, Cornelius, yes, Tenish, Bougie, Miltoad, Game I Peep. Thank you. Yes, it is Tuesday. Corey Robertson. What's going on, everybody? Clarence, Tommy Brown. I want to make sure you all were paying attention. There we go. All right, let's get this browser cam open up for the top story of the day, which we said is Binance. Again, delisted altcoins feel shocked, saddened, and disappointed by Binance. It's pretty interesting. I won't lie. When I saw this story pop up yesterday, the one that caught my attention is, as you can see here, Cloak Coin. It's been 5 altcoins that have come forward with their own announcement following the news. Binance also made an announcement, but the 5 coins getting delisted is Cloak Coin, Modem, Wings, Substratum, and Salt. And last but not, I believe that's 5 right there. Salt, Sub, Wings, Modem, and Cloak. 3 most notable were Cloak Coin, Wings, and Substratum. Of course, Salt is 4 really notable ones. And it definitely came as a surprise to a lot of people. So I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly what they did to actually kick them off, because they stated they're not meeting the high level of standards we expect. Have you seen the coins on Binance? These are some of the crap. Some of them are worse than Craptopia. So I don't know what standard that was, but I do have inkling that most of their delistings come as a result of the teams on the coin. It may not be the actual coin itself, but they may working with the team may be hard, because you got to understand, when you're trying to get listed, you got to send in paperwork, you got to email back. Maybe they're like, oh, they don't send the right stuff, or they don't update correctly, or maybe they're doing some nefarious dealings where they wash trading on different, you know what I mean? There's a lot of factors that go into it, but the fact that they said that, and then they still have 100 coins that you look at, you're like, what is, I mean, come on, man. People are still buying mana and some other stuff. So, but yeah, the Substratum community is probably the most outspoken I saw. Wings as well, because they just had a promotion 2 days before. They were like, join Wings to do such and such, and then boom, delisted off Binance. So sad day, but like we've always said, these are things with crypto that you can't really apply to other industries. Like, you don't just get delisted off of TD Ameritrade. Like, people don't just get moved off of different, commodities.
And
don't
we're
just
gonna
change.
take you off stock market.
Beans are no longer tradable. Like, they don't do that anymore. So you could literally be sitting on a coin that's up 80%. They delist it, it drops 90, and that's pretty much what happened to all these coins. And it really happened to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin got delisted in October, same thing happened to it. Lost about 60% almost instantly. So, it's not really good for consumers who have it, but for Binance, I guess they're trying to clean house. I don't know what CZ is really doing, but we'll see more, I guess.
And then Cloak Coin, as you see, they were on their website. The news on Friday about Cloak being delisted from Binance was emotionally shocked me. As Cloak Coin's project manager, this is an even harder hit for me, because I very strongly identify myself with the project. Binance is a reputable player in the crypto scene. This insubstantiated and incomprehensible. Whenever someone says insubstantiated and incomprehensible, I mean, this is political buzzwords here.
Big words come out.
Right, it's about to be a problem.
Talking like T.I.
Right, this message, I know that's hilarious. Messages tarnishes Cloak Coin's reputation in a negative way. Looking back at the regular contact made with the team, Binance. Previously, I hope for a detailed explanation regarding which of the points apply to Coin. Again, this was the one that really surprised me. Coin is one of those coins where you might not have heard of before as of recently, but they definitely crept. I'm not sure they made it to the top 10 before, but I know they definitely crept into the probably like the top 50, top 25 here and there. But you know, a lot of promises for that. It was another privacy coin a lot of people like. So to me, this one really shocked me to see Coin on here on the chopping block. Same with Wings. Wings had a really good following behind it, as you said. Substratum, we know they had a good following. The Wings in their blog post, they said this news has saddened us as Wings. All right, for one, all the emotionally stuff and all the saddening stuff.
Get over yourself, man.
Listen, come on. Babies aren't dying, all right? Is it, you know, does it suck? Of course, but at the end of the day, it's a private exchange delisting you. So I understand it's, you know, it's disheartening, but the emotionally wrecked people out there, as Dave Chappelle said, they're pretty brittle. But
yeah, come on, man.
Wings said this news has saddened us as Wings has been trusted since the early days of Binance. Again, come on, Wings. I see why y'all got cut. The early days, so this has been trusted since 2017. 2 years ago? Since the early days of, I like what they did.
100-year institution.
Come on,
they just got rid of you.
Literally was like 800 days later. All right, stop playing. But they said this news has saddened us as Wings has been listed since the early days of Binance. As that's when you know people feeling OG-ish after this bear market. We've been on there since 1.5 years now.
Congrats.
As all the required information by Binance was always provided in a timely manner. The delisting was a big surprise for us as we have not received any notification about the penalty. All right, same thing basically Coinbase does with customer accounts. They're just doing it with enterprise accounts. Substratum, they actually got specific in their grievances against the course of action. They said it came at a surprise, no advance warning. We are terribly disappointed in the decision and the handling of the delisting. They said to be specific, and they listed specifics here. We are not questioned regarding any issue to make sure the issues is factual before making the decision. We were not given an opportunity to clear up any real perceived issues such as probationary status or deadline to fix. We were not given any conditions for relisting. So to me, man.
I don't know, because they can put this out and we will just have to believe it. But
honestly, Binance could be like, no, we told you.
We told you a year ago, if you don't fix this, then this is gonna happen. And then he put the hammer down without telling them, mostly because maybe he wanted to put an example out there, like, hey, this can happen to anybody. So don't get too cute and think you're just too good for CZ.
That's hilarious. I think it actually is a case of him putting the hammer down by showing coins. Again, who knows what they did? I will say it probably was out the blue for, you know, the 4 at least I know about, for their teams to come out and be like, look, we literally don't have no clue. I kind of believe them that, especially, and that's kind of the issue with the way crypto operates. You know, a lot of these companies, since there aren't any regs, which is, hey, whatever, we need to self-regulate this, but they can chop that X at any time. They can say, well, we don't use our platform. We talk about Coinbase all the time doing it. As we've seen here, Binance is doing it with some of the bigger projects out there, but there probably was something going on inside whether it was pump and dumps. I know they actually gave some warning. They gave
stuff.
Yep,
that goes on
they was like, look, all right, all 5 of y'all pumped the same weekend or something. Who knows? But you're right. They're definitely, CZ's making an example on this one.
They had way too much dip on their chip.
Right.
And CZ was probably like, hey, man, this can happen to anybody.
Right.
Man, it's crazy to see Salt gone too, because Salt was held up as a big
huge project, right? And if you've been in our comment section, this is something, shout out to Antonio from the UK. He mentioned this a while back a couple times, but with the tipping.me, Bitcoin tips now available on Twitter via Lightning Network. They actually added a Chrome extension now, right?
Oh, yeah. Available to anybody with Google Chrome, and on Twitter, you can send Bitcoin payments via the Lightning Network, because, like most people have said, scaling with Bitcoin is an issue. So with the Lightning Network, small amounts can be sent for 0% fees. Very easy to set up. It's probably about 3 or 4 steps. I'll probably make a tutorial video on it, but it's pretty easy to set up. You go to tipping.me, you add it, and then you have a Lightning available tip on your Twitter. Anytime you click it, you can send money. I actually put it on my Twitter. We'll put it on ours, so you can actually tip us if you want. And it is in beta mode, so there has been people that can say, you know, I've lost a couple cents here and there, but they even warn you, look, it's in beta mode, so don't send large amounts trying to, you know, tip $100 or something. Just 5 cents, 2 cents, just to see if it works. And, you know, in my opinion, this is the beginning of the future. Do I think they will last as a sole company? No. I think if they are a good company, Twitter will buy them, and then they'll just add it to their platform. But if that is the case, tips will become very big on Twitter. and hopefully it doesn't turn into Snapchat at some point where it's just premium channels. I mean, that kind of got convoluted, so nobody uses it anymore. So hopefully Twitter implements it the correct way. And tipping, like you said, is not new. They had Change Tip back in 2016. That kind of died out, but it was a good project. So tipping's been around. We've seen it from different projects, but we were trying to see one that works on Lightning Network on a major social media platform. This is important for Twitter, I believe.
That was some good points you made. As first, I can also see them buying them out. It becomes, they're like, oh, you like this? All right, hey, we'll take the whole boat of it. Yeah, we'll just take the whole thing.
It's 10 million. Goodbye.
That, and then I mean, it's pretty interesting to see these things because they're trying to add what could be components from a decentralized platform that everybody are trying to add. When you talk about the steamers and stuff, they're trying to add that to a regular centralized platform, which I think might actually be the next solution before we go fully decentralized. There's going to be all these hybrid solutions where, like you're saying, content creators can get paid. And that's speaking of which, that was the second really good point you made. Snapchat. I mean, Snapchat definitely fell off some because of Instagram. They were just like, oh, we're just going to do everything you're doing on a bigger platform. But also, like I said, every channel on Snapchat is now premium. So how would a landscape of Twitter look like if all the top followers is like, well, you got to at least register. You got to tip a certain amount and register to join this Twitter feed. That would be crazy.
Well, it would be, I think if they structured it the correct way with micropayments, like for instance, if you structured it where a like is worth 0.00001 cent. You know what I mean? It would basically take you 1 million likes to pay $1 or something like that. Basically, it'd be super cheap for you to like, retweet. Like it may, like you, there's no way you could do 1 million retweets or likes in a year. So the most you would spend is $1 in a year. But if everybody has that capability, you have millions of people sending you a fraction of a cent. Those people can get paid, you know, a lot of money. So people that get 30, 40, 100,000 retweets and comments and all that stuff.
That might be a quick little
that's a quick way to make
exactly
right there, right. Make, you know, a good money off of it, and it's in crypto, so you can actually delegate whether or not you want to move it, you know, into cash or keep it and spend it on somebody else. So if you have a wallet, you know, it creates that community. So yeah, definitely shout out Jack Dorsey. You know, for actually saying he's going to implement it on Cash App as well. So this isn't, you know, something that's deep in the future. We may see this develop by this summer. Like it's here now, people.
And this is something that's going to continue to improve because one of the things about crypto, and we talked about this extensively in the past, is the micropayments. So like you said, right now it's $5 or $10, but eventually you wanted to literally get to where somebody wanted to tip you less than a penny. As you said, if you're getting less than a penny from the entire planet because of some retweet or something, then that's a nice little bump and pay out the blue. So, next up, BitGo offering $100 million in crypto insurance through Lloyd's of London. Wow, I know Lloyd's of London have been sniffing their nose around crypto for a while, but it looks like it's going to become official. Crypto security company BitGo is making good on its plans to facilitate insurance for digital assets by providing $100 million of cover against theft or the loss of cryptographic keys via the Lloyd's of London insurance market. How is this going to work?
Oh yeah, well, after discussing Quadriga CX for about 2 weeks, you have seen what could happen if you don't have some sort of crypto insurance or some sort of backup to your keys. We do encourage that you are sovereign and you can do it yourself. However, for businesses who want to make sure that they won't lose a certain amount of money, they can actually use BitGo's business wallets through BitGo Trust Company and receive actual insurance on their private keys. So if they are lost or if there's physical damage, if you lose, if anything happens to those keys, they will reimburse you via crypto, which is great for businesses because one of the things that kept businesses out of crypto, we've always said, was the insurance portion. People always say, hey, what if I have a Bitcoin wallet? I've made, you know, millions or thousands of dollars and it gets hacked. And people are like, well, you just got hacked. And the business is like, well, that's too risky for me. But now if you have insurance for a small monthly fee and they can actually hold it for you in their cold storage, if you trust them, you have the insurance that says, hey, we'll pay you back up to a certain amount. I don't know if it'll be like the FDIC where it's up to $250,000. This one may be a little bit lower to start. However, it is a step in the right direction for businesses because, like we said, take out the risk and you put in consumers, then businesses have no choice but to accept it because they're like, well, if people want to use it and it's no real risk to me to accept it, I accept Bitcoin now. So
with $100 million, I don't see them doing anything too big because, I mean, last year I think we saw with over $1 billion in hacks. So, I mean, that's what? Not even 10%, right?
About 10%.
About 10% if it's at $1 billion. But What I will think will help with is some of the smaller exchanges or some of the smaller cases even, which would really be big. Of hey, I lost 30,000 here, I lost 100,000 here, I lost 5,000 here, 7,000 here. And that's how they're going to grow as a company. I mean, they literally will get smaller accounts. Yep. Some of the smaller projects maybe covering them up to $1 million or $2 million. And again, some of the regular retail, or we almost consider retail customers, where they might say we'll cover $10,000.
Yeah.
But the cost you're going to pay for that insurance, I mean, we know how much they charge for rates. So after a year or two, that number can easily boost from 100 million. All right, we got about 350 in the insurance bank. A couple more years. All right, we got 750 billion or 750 million. Before finally we see some of the bigger projects, like I don't know, the Tezos, the $250 million backed insurance projects, which would be pretty cool to see. Like you said, that would definitely open up the floodgates for investments, because people are gonna say, "Oh, well, I really can't lose now."
Yeah, exactly. It's like we got insurance. So.
Until insurance, like, "Oh yeah, we don't actually have your money paid back."
Yeah,
and we're
that's
closed.
why I say if you trust them,
right?
Because some people like myself are very skeptical. No matter how good it looks, it's still somebody else. It's still
they're going to make you jump through hoops upon hoops. Well, did you record this? Oh, you're using privacy coins? Oh, we don't cover that. We don't know nothing about. Hey, listen, you can use Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be like, if we can't track it, we can't insure it.
We can't insure it.
Yeah.
Bitmain IPO document reportedly reveals $500 million in Q3 losses. Wow.
Ooh,
this is what happens when you try to go public. Claiming that you were 14 billion, is that what they said?
Like 14 to 18 billion.
Well, knowingly you're not, and then having your CEO basically not get fired, but just get pushed to the side off the executive team. But
they was like, we don't even want him around.
Right, Bitcoin mining giant Bitmain could have made losses of around 500 million in Q3 last year. Industry magazine CoinDesk reported on February 19. Wow. Again, Bitmain is currently attempting to launch an IPO under the auspices of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, submitted a report into its earnings line, and is waiting listing requirements. What's going on here? How did this happen? If it actually happened, we know that, hey, it's crypto.
Yeah,
maybe we lost it, maybe we didn't. Maybe we just don't want you to know. No.
Yeah, I mean, they previously disclosed, they gross profits of $1 billion in 2018, and then they subtracted 500 million, so the net loss is about 500 million for the third quarter. This, to me, is the difference between them and actual IPO like company that's coming from the regular centralized world is that their revenues come from mining, which is hard to track if they wasn't tracking it from the beginning. So we don't know how much money Bitmain really has,
right?
Because a lot of the miners, Chinese miners, and all the old miners from like 2011 that started, you don't know how many products they sold. They didn't really get into the tracking of how much money they have, how much Bitcoin they have, till like 2014. So you don't know how much they have. However, if they lost this amount of money, it looks bad for them trying to be listed as an IPO, because they basically lied. They said, we were worth this amount, we could be worth, and they got caught sending an email out to investors saying, yeah, these people are on board. And the other people start calling each other and was like, hey, I heard you on board. They're like, no. And it's like, we heard you were on board. And it's like, no, we're not either. So they kind of mixed that up with the emails. Then you throw in the fact that they lost all this money. And, of course, he got kicked off the board. This is not looking good for Bitmain. And, I mean, over time, he's basically shown himself. Jahan Wu teaming up with Roger Ver should have been all you need to see.
Right.
After he did that, should have been like, okay, I don't trust this guy with anything. But he basically tried to use his money to get that IPO. But like we always said, money can't buy IPOs. You got to have the right network.
Right.
That messed it up.
Right. That I'm sure he'll try to come back again as well. I mean, next half a year, once people kind of forget, that nastiness gets washed off them. But also, I know they're comparing it to, like I said, last year when the profit was $1 billion. I also think they're trying to count it toward their IPO price as a whole. They're saying, all right, well, since our IPO isn't worth that much, a good win from the business side is saying, well, let's just write that off as a loss, which is kind of smart. Earlier in the year, they say, hey, late last year, early this year, they were saying, hey, we're worth $14 billion or whatever. And let's say people come back and say, no, actually, guys, you might be only worth $5 billion. Where they can say, well, that's because of X amount of losses now to the IPO price we had it valued at. So I'm sure they're trying to play with these numbers to make magic happen.
Oh, yeah. But it even says here, it indicated Bitcoin mainly held Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Dash, although it did not provide a breakdown of how much it held of each asset. So literally, he didn't actually tell us anything. So we don't know how much they have, how much they really lost. So
right, they could have lost. They could, like you said, they could have lost that when the Bcash thing happened. But who knows? But we'll be watching Bitmain again. Let's see if they ever actually do this IPO, or was it all just some fraudulent gesturing? Argentina settles export deal with Paraguay using Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
Argentina has settled an export deal with Paraguay in Bitcoin. Cointelegraph in Espanol reported on Thursday, February 14th. This is last week, but it was reported first for both countries. Paraguay had bought pesticides and fumigation products worth $7,100 from Argentina using cryptocurrency to settle the deal. The purchase was paid for in Bitcoin and then converted into Argentine peso to settle accounts with the exporter of the agricultural chemicals.
All right,
let's
start.
Listen,
we gained DR.
Right, with $7,100. Not a lot. Two decently sized governments though. They're saying let's just give this a try. And guess what? It works. The world didn't burn. Terrorists aren't using it to do crazy stuff. It's another normal day. But to proceed with the payments, another company you heard of as of recent, I think we took over them last week, but Argentina applied to Bitex, a Latin American financial services provider that supports Bitcoin payments.
Manuel Boutro, he might be the new CZ.
Hilarious. This article says news, but after seeing Bitex in a Cointelegraph article like 3 times in a week, I'm going to assume that they are on a PR campaign. They paid for this, but whatever. That's just my thoughts.
That's the game.
Right, that's the game. It's still a good accomplishment. But yeah, what's going on over here?
Oh yeah, well, we've always said that adoption will be global, and we can't just look at the U.S. because, of course, there's way more to it. When you start seeing countries paying for goods and services and cryptocurrency as import-export, that's when the global economy starts, people. That's when the hyper-Bitcoinization people talk about, that's when that happens, because 7,100 is just the beginning. Next week, it could be 71,000.
Work for 7,100.
Hey, and then next year, we could be sitting here saying, hey, Paraguay and Argentina only deals goods.
They want their money, and they want the money in 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
because no reason to wait.
There's no reason to wait for this 10 day delay.
Well, we gotta have sign. We gotta send a check over here. Our paperwork. No,
you don't have to do any of that.
We'll send you the fumigation products literally in 10 minutes after we see this payment go through.
And I mean, Argentina is moving forward because just this month, country's state transport card, which we discussed, SUBI, Sistema Único de Boleto Electrónico, used by over 7 million people in 37 locations, has actually started accepting Bitcoin. So we've discussed that before. Now they're doing deals with Paraguay. Argentina's looking like a good spot. And like we said, Manuel Boutro is turning into the new CZ for Argentina. So shout out to him.
Shout out to him. And then, like you said, just to give you an idea of Bitex for those who might be in some Latin American countries. They can use the crypto through their payment system for anything worth less than $15,000. So it looks like that 7,100, is almost half of that amount, which is probably why they did it. But people, this is huge news. They're starting off with $15,000. Again, small businesses. This is perfect for you. Talking about global trading, import export for some people who listen to that might be in business. We made plenty of examples of how cryptocurrency is going to be a wave of the future just because you can now pick up the phone and do business in China or Indonesia and have something get exported to you and literally just pay them in crypto, and everything can be done in 5 minutes. I mean, you can have a corn shipment to your state in the next 15 minutes by going online, paying for it, and finding the right supplier, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All with cryptocurrency. So,
Viva la revolución.
There we go. That's hilarious. Coinbase acquires blockchain analytics startup Neutrino. Wow, okay. It sounds like it could be interesting, but or a good thing, but it's definitely an interesting thing. United States cryptocurrency exchange and wallet. I love how Coinbase is technically like their name has like progressively just begin normal. At first it was just like the most regulated, the biggest exchange of the northern world.
Yeah, you had to tone that all the way down.
Right. I mean, it used to be like a paragraph to introduce Coinbase. But there we go. U.S. crypto exchange and wallet Coinbase. I love that. Has acquired blockchain intelligence startup Neutrino, according to one of their blog posts. Okay, what's this intelligent startup and what's it doing with crypto?
Hey man, all those fancy words they're using, they will track everything you do. They literally, this is what they do. They tell you the features that may interest you, and then at the end they kind of throw in what they're actually going to do. Like they stated here, they said the U.S. exchange believes that blockchain intelligence will contribute to creating an open and protected financial system first red flag: open and protected. They always want to protect you before.
How's
they
it
take
open and protected?
They always want to protect you before they take
whenever
your
it's open, it can't
stuff.
be protected.
Exactly. Yeah. The company Neutrino. This is what they expect: prevent theft of funds, investigate hacks and ransomware attacks, and of course, identify suspicious transactions thrown in at the end.
With Coinbase, suspicious transactions.
Any transaction is suspicious to them. I mean, $2, and all of a sudden it's, well, we shut it down just because. And then, of course, support doesn't answer any emails, don't answer any phone calls. You're going to have to run up on Brian Armstrong himself to actually talk to anybody from Coinbase. So to me, they hire Neutrino because they need to have that government clout to basically say, hey, guys, we're on your side. We have a company here that can track every transaction. We can make sure there's no money laundering. We're extremely safe. Now let's raise another $100 million, because that's literally what they do. They appeal to the government. The government basically says, yeah, we'll allow them to operate. Banks say, hey, if they're allowed to operate in this jurisdiction, let's give them money, and then that's how it works. So can't hate the player. Gotta hate, can't hate the game for them, because Coinbase, they've proven what they're here to do. They want to be the mainstream.
That's right.
Bank or crypto bank. That's what
they're the
do.
crypto regular banking hybrid. So you got to take them for what they're worth. Again, for new people in the space, it's still a great. Listen, if you're brand new in the space, Coinbase is a great place to go for 30 days. All right, like get on, get off. All right,
get on, see a couple features, and get on.
Get
off.
PO once you try to put some real money in there, and then you're just like, wait, what's going on? But yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. We already know what this stuff is going to be used for. They're working with TurboTax now. They're literally clearly working with the government.
They got TurboTax.
They have a what's a super PAC now? They have a super political PAC. So those who know what that means, they basically form a political PAC to give money to lobbyists and regulators and stuff to have regulations go in their favor, thus reducing competition in the area. But again, these are all parts of business. We get it. They're making some good moves. But all this stuff, when you're talking about, what's this called again? Neutrino. You got Neutrino. You got TurboTax, PayPal linking to them. They're trying to do debit or credit cards.
Blockspring.
This is literally the TD Ameritrade executive that came over.
Yeah,
I mean,
he literally just had a whiteboard with, we need these parts.
This is everything we did over at TD Ameritrade. This is what we did. I'm sure he's worked at Goldman or something, or they at least have someone on the team for them. I mean, come on, would not be surprised. Yeah. I know they have a lot of top executives that came that they've literally been able to attract from different other, again, top 100, top 40 companies in the world, financial companies. So this is literally the playbook for a traditional financial company. We get it. And you know what? It's actually a good thing that Coinbase is doing it, because as a hybrid, all it's doing is bringing more people into crypto. And then once they get on it, they're, of course, as anything, they're going to learn, like, all right, why am I using these platforms? And why are you guys tracking me so much? Like, why do you care about how much crypto I have this week?
Exactly, yeah. Right. I mean, it's like I said, it's mainstream, so they have to do it. But like I said, that guy, whoever they brought up from TD Ameritrade, I can see it right now.
He got the whole
whiteboard.
Yeah.
He's like, look, we did this for 30 years. It works.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. So
Sergeant Crypto, shout out. Sergeant Crypto said, with Coinbase, if you're new, just get on and get your free $10 in Bitcoin. That's hilarious. Milto said, exchanges wielding that much power owe us a detailed explanation for delisting. Too much money lost. So listen, we get it. That's the thing about the space right now. No one has to explain anything, and no one is explaining anything. But again, this is what's actually killing us. This is what's making us go toward regulation, because all it takes is for that one person, let's say for Salt or something, who invested 50 to 100,000, 200,000, has another 300,000 more left in the bank for rainy day, and they decide to use it on a lawyer to say, hey,
go sue Binance.
Yeah, how these guys just delisting? This is my money. All it takes is for one angry customer, and the best way to avoid that is self-regulation. The way you can self-regulate is literally for CZ and every other
don't use Binance anymore.
Crypto company, Coinbase, for them to stop whatever the game they're playing, and just come out and be like, hey, we delisted you because we wanted to. Or because, I mean, I would even be happy if they really came out and said, if Coinbase and Binance, whoever came out and said, we've done these things because we wanted to. Plain and simple. This is what and then you have a choice to move away. But you're right, to not give anything out there, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like we said, with self-regulation, it works if people actually self-regulate. Like if you were mad enough, if those communities were mad enough at Binance and they just stopped using Binance and Binance's volume dipped, and then they turned it to a glorified Bittrex at some point, then that's self-regulation. We literally just told them you can't delist people like that, or we're going to leave your exchange. The next exchange that becomes big, they won't do that. So that's why we said self-regulation, let the market decide. But if these aren't that important to you, which I think for most people it's not. They're like, okay, well, they got delisted, but whatever. Then they're going to keep doing it.
Right.
So that's
we can get away with this?
We can get away with this? So
it's an easy way to pump and dump too, honestly. Yeah. Because if you short it, I mean, I'm not sure if you could go marginal on any of those coins, but let's say they did with a coin you could short on a different exchange, and you decide to get delisted on Binance or something. I mean, that'd be huge, people.
Huge.
But now that it's kind of, and this is the perfect time to do it. It's kind of up to those, of course, the communities of these tokens, but the token projects themselves. I like how they all release statements, but right now is the perfect time for all 5 of those projects to really make some noise and say, hey, other projects, are we going to deal with this? Because if every project were to withdraw from exchanges, let's just say for one day, now's the time. I mean, we're in a bear market. I mean, you're not really going to miss any price movement. No one's going to make a lot or lose a lot. But like I said, this is a perfect time to flex your muscles and get away with it. So it's kind of shocking to me that other projects didn't see this and jump on it as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jizzy Mac for the tip.
Shout out.
Much appreciated. Jizzy Mac said, thank you for the content every day. Buy Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
But I was also, if you saw me smiling on the YouTube, I was smiling like the last few minutes because of the comments after Zay was popping off in his foreign languages over here. But everybody was saying Zay's prepping to conquer Puerto Rico, Crypto Island. It was just pretty hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And some other good ones.
Trying to sharpen my skills.
There we go.
Yeah, I got to get better at conversational Spanish.
There we go. It's funny.
I can read it, but I can't conversational.
I was just on Babbel today, restarting my Spanish lessons, and actually I added my Russian one too. We're surrounded by Russians over here, so I was like, all right, it looks like the way the world's going too. You better learn a little bit of Russian and Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
A. Kent said the way these exchanges are operating these days reminds me of the days of binary options trading with these overseas brokers. They get you in and press you with all their features, and then I'm assuming they hit you with the
they hit you with something to exit. Like if you want to get your money off, or if you want to actually do something with it, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, give us all your information. Make sure you can't do this, can't do that, and it's like, oh man,
we're looking at you, Bittrex.
You got me again. Yeah.
Right. And last but not least, great news story. Tim Draper predicts crypto will rule. Only criminals use cash in 5 years. Now, I won't lie. 5 years, that's an aggressive statement.
Yeah.
But I can see it being possible. I definitely can see it being possible in the next 10 to 15 years. 5 years, who knows, though?
I really don't see how this is possible with such amazing strip clubs around the country.
Hilarious.
Cash will be around for a little bit longer than 5 more years. I can tell you that.
Well, I mean, honestly, strip clubs do attract a lot of criminals.
They do. But the thing is, most of the cash that's in there, hey, like we said, it's not. I don't think it's going away. But I think it'll basically be in only 2, 3, 4, different industries where it's like this is the only time you need to use cash. Here, and here, because everything else will have digital payments installed. And I mean, you can even install them at those strip clubs. You can put Bitcoin payments. It's just not as fun, and everything's about how it looks and the looks. But yeah, I think he's very aggressive with that simply because the technology every 2 years technology doubles. And if we're at a point now where you can technically never use cash if you don't want to, in 5 years it's pretty feasible. You pretty much won't need it for anything other than for stuff underground and things that you want to buy that people don't know about. I don't know if it'll all be criminals, but maybe stuff you don't want people to know about.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's pretty aggressive from Tim Draper, but he's been aggressive his whole career.
I mean, he put $1 billion, or he's made like $1 billion from the crypto market, so I understand why. If I made that much from crypto, I'll also be thinking cash is gone. What are y'all talking about? You know how much money I made? But again, this is going off his previous statements where he predicted that fiat money will become laughable and obsolete in 5 years. Draper has elaborated on his forecast, stating that nobody but criminals will keep using cash, since criminals who use crypto can be tracked via blockchain. He's quoted as saying the criminals will still want to operate with cash because they catch everybody who's trying to use Bitcoin. Again, this one could be one of those statements where, hey, just a headline, but it's good. I hope to see more billionaires come out and start having this rhetoric, even if it's not fully true, because we've seen this on the other side of the table with mainstream news. All they do, I mean, the only reason people are talking about Bitcoin now, and honestly, I think you could attribute some of the price jump to it, it's because of Quadriga CX.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, Quadriga CX got people's attention back to crypto, where they at least started looking up Bitcoin and prices and all that. And I'm sure out of some of that population, people are like, all right, well, it's lower than the 20,000 now. Let me buy some. So, again, if we get more very outspoken people that are the billionaires and the key leaders out there to kind of say, hey, cash will only be used for criminals. Doesn't have to be true. The same way they do with Bitcoin, saying Bitcoin's only for criminals. Hey, let's start spinning that rhetoric back and get some of the people on the winning team.
Exactly, yeah. So shout out to Tim Draper. He's actually said Bitcoin will be worth $250K in 2022. So his aggressiveness is, you know, well known, and he has a lot. I forgot how many Bitcoins he bought, 30,000 in an auction, and he has more, you know, on top of that. So yeah, he's pretty aggressive with Bitcoin. I can tell you that right now.
Hilarious. John said some of the dancers will have the QR tattoos on them. That is hilarious.
Oh yeah. Definitely pitched that idea back in the day.
All right, for the free cryptic coin, what are we doing today?
Oh yeah, so for the free cryptic coin, in light of the new Tipping Me bot on Twitter, will you use Tipping Me? Will you tip people on Twitter using Lightning? Will you test it out? Do you think it's good for the space? Do you think it's bad? What do you think about micropayments? Whatever you want to put that and your cryptic coin address, and we will send those free coins on Friday.
All right, as always, thanks for watching. Have a happy Tuesday, and we will see you all tomorrow. Cheers.
Cheers.